We are a almost go.
This is interesting. Yeah, I've never used this. It's a new program, but it's supposed to be
new world.
a whole new world. Let's see if it works, though.
Oh, 100%.
You are live.
As far as OBS is concerned.
So this is new.
Mm-hmm.
This is not only the game new, but I used to use YouTube Classic.
Right.
They forced,
very fond of that one.
Yes, very fond of that one. It's easy to find everything. Now I'm force fed into YouTube, the new YouTube Studio, which I'm finding my way around.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not horrible, but it's like okay. But it actually seemed to work better than the Classic.
It did.
Yeah, I think they weren't putting any effort into the old Classic to keep it up and running.
If they spent that much time on the new YouTube Studio, it's almost like they tweaked everything just enough to where kind of like, okay, now I can finally just scrape away with all that, and we can add this one on.
Yeah.
And we're confident in it. Here you go, it's live.
So they were like trash, and then so I got the new one. Plus, I have a new game.
It's that crumpled up paper
so people
noise.
get to check it out. And then I've been using Classic OBS because that's what I learned on. And then, of course, all the other gamers I know still use Classic OBS. Now, come to find out, there's this OBS out there that everyone else uses called Streamlabs OBS. And
better for specific things.
Yeah. Now, nobody out there. What up, Matt B? What up, Xevious, Exo, Eric, Gene, and
Good
Bass?
morning.
Quick Oak, Bass, Quick Oak. I can't say that. I'm sorry. I totally.
Basquitalk?
Basquitalk? Yeah. Yo, what's up, Warrior? I do like the new Streamlabs OBS, but then I was talking to them and they're like, oh man, you're using Streamlabs OBS now? That's like trash. And I'm like, it's new. I haven't ever even used it. It's supposedly better than the original. And they're like, no.
They all are.
They're like, it's easier than the original. I'm like, oh, well then that's what I should be using because
I want it even more.
I've been using the original and they're like, no, the original, you can do so much more. Like Arnold does high level production and he needs all these like plugins, and Streamlabs OBS does all these like kind of chintzy plugins for you. And I'm all about chintzy, dude. I'm all about easy. So
hey, as long as it works and looks okay, right?
Yeah. So I'm like, well, dude, if it's easy, if I don't have to think as much, I mean, and it looks like OBS, right? To you. So for me, it's like I'm getting a hold of the new YouTube Studio. I'm starting to get a hold of the new Streamlabs OBS. This will be the first time we've ever technically used it. So you will have to let me know.
It's got great colors. It's really nice and clean. It looks professional.
Yeah.
Why not?
I've never used the widgets and stuff, but like if somebody subscribes to me, if somebody donates, like if you guys, someone, I hate to ask, I've never asked in my life for a donation, but it would be really cool, even if it was like $1, if somebody would just donate $1, because I just want to see.
Mostly we're curious about the noise that it makes, what it does, what all flashing lights we get on the side.
If you can hear it, and B, if you can see it, like if the widget actually works, that would be kind of cool.
I don't know why, but for anybody who knows the old school Quiznos commercials, there's a quote coming to mind. And it's this whole scenario where this guy is walking around in pants and everybody's all like, what are those things on your legs? Because they're all standing there with bushes in front of their private areas. And he's like, the pets, aren't they great? So by the end of the commercial, they talk about Quiznos, the new style, how they toast their subs or whatever. And at the end, the guy goes, I fear change and I shall keep my bushes. And goes scurrying away.
That's hilarious. So you should be able to hear the alert box that I've set up. Us really well, of course, because our mics that we've resolved that months ago.
Yes.
With a really nice set of podcast mics.
Mics that are as cool as the other side of the pillow.
That's right. And then we also have the sound of the game. Now, I have the sound of the game reduced because I don't want you to be like listening and then like, what's going on? So, but if the sound
crowd applauds out of nowhere.
Yeah, but if the sound is like too low for the game or whatever, you guys will have to like say, hey, I'm having a hard time hearing the game. Now, the game doesn't have a whole lot of sound, just so you know. It's, there's not a whole lot. There's not a whole lot of sound.
Oh, Xavius, thank you.
Yeah, Xavius donated $2. Let's go disc golfing. Yeah, for sure. Don't know if it's coming through or not. It doesn't show in the mini feed yet. This is why I wanted to test it. So I appreciate him doing that. Oh, and Matt B did one too.
Hey, all right.
So let's see how that goes through. I'm interested. Yep, because it's there. So we'll see. It shows no events to display yet. So maybe it's delayed or something. Maybe there's a delay. We'll see.
Turn the delay off and all that, but
were we too early? I don't know. So I have it. No,
you were probably just fine.
I know. I have it in there, so we'll see if the alert box comes through and showcases that stuff. I appreciate that's enough, you guys. I just wanted to see if it works. We'll see in the live stream if it starts to provide that and goes through. But
no more wasting money.
Yeah. XO asks.
Do I still play swgoh?
Yeah.
Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes? Yes, I do.
Swgoh.
My poor guild. I think in some ways I still help out and I still contribute and all that. But lately it's been pretty minuscule, pretty here and there. So the fact that they're still keeping me on is pretty nice of them. I think they appreciate my company whenever I can partake. But it's definitely not like it used to be. I'm not chasing the meta. Definitely not chasing. Never been chasing arena really. So it's become just more of a fun here and there kind of game, and I get down on Grand Arena once in a while in territory battles and territory wars, so that's really the bulk of what I do with the game now. But yeah, still there. Still got my counts.
Yeah, so it says is Streamlabs plugged in? Yeah, it is plugged in. I don't know, honestly, though, what's going on, because I did set up the alert box. It's in there. Let me see really quick, though.
It's fair game for everything that you want.
On the alert box.
Because it's yours, do it.
Donations, merch, super chat, subscribers, members, global alert delay. I don't know about that. I don't want to delay.
What does 5 mean? 5 seconds? 5 minutes? Mid-conversation about something, all of a sudden, hooray!
Yeah, I have no idea. Use a custom frame rate. I don't know what I just did.
Yeah, no flashing
let's
lights.
See, test.
Want this program to stop, turn, take a look around at all the lights and sounds.
Yeah. Well, so it showcases that they're all in there or whatever. And it does show that the alerts are in there. Let's test it.
Morning, Andrew.
Morning. So we go like donation and let's test it. That's what it should show right there. Do you see that?
Right.
Yeah, I don't know.
I see what it's trying to do.
Yeah. Okay, well, that'll be something I guess I'll have to get some
OBS, this is what you're doing. This is what I'd like you to do.
I know. We'll have to figure that out. Is there a tip level setting on the notification? Ooh, that's an interesting thing. I wouldn't have thought of that.
Thank goodness for our viewers who know more about this stuff than we do.
Yeah, I don't think there is.
Where'd it go?
Why is it not opening?
Matt B wants to know if there's any thoughts on Urzatron quitting.
Yeah.
I didn't realize he quit. I don't keep up with any of the YouTubers anymore.
I just found that out yesterday.
My favorite YouTuber quit the game, so.
Yeah, I found that out a couple days ago, or yesterday on Twitter. Yeah. He went on like a huge rant and then quit, and I was like, that's sad.
I think as kind of all YouTubers have done at one point or another, dealing with the frustrations of the Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, lack of care, lack of developers, lack of good content, lack of a lot of things.
Yeah, it's weird. The alert box. Oh, there it is. You see it?
Holy cow.
Hey, look, it's out, you guys. Did it go?
Hey.
It just says desktop audio, so you might not have it due to your audio source setup. No, the alert box is set up for its own audio.
All right, not so much for the sound, but should see it coming across the screen there. So if anybody's paying attention, should have been a little donation walking guy.
Okay. Well, anyway, we've wasted enough time on that. You guys don't have to do any more donations. I was just
well, speaking of other things that are on fire, I don't know, not so much the live stream or anything like that. Just one little glitch with the donation thing. But in our neck of the woods, I don't know for any of you guys paying attention right now. I mean, the world's on fire in general in a lot of ways, and it's all going to heck in a handbasket. So aside from all of that, one addition to all the garbage that we see on the news media every day and the stuff that's being force-fed to us is our Pine Gulch mountain area all up in Glade Park is totally on fire right now.
Oh my goodness. If you follow me on Twitter, a lot of people don't do Twitter, but if you do, you follow me on Twitter, I posted a picture, or actually it was a video. This was like a week ago, and it looks like a friggin' volcano, like 12 miles north of my house, literally 12 miles north of my house. And it looked like a volcano, and literally looks like a volcano. And
every night at dusk, you get to actually see, like, you can see flares of flames coming up over the ridges. It's crazy.
Over the mountains. The flames are so big, you can see them over the mountains. And it started at as a 10-acre fire, I think, by lightning.
I'm not sure what they're claiming it is at this point, because I haven't read anything about that. All I know is that at one point now, it's actually moved up to 20,000 acres. So
30,000.
30 now?
Oh,
geez, that's the last thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't been keeping up with that much. It's a little bit, little unfortunate, but
it's growing fast. It's not contained at all. It's like 0% contained, and it's really, really destructive. There's actually houses just north of the fire, so they're having to evacuate and stuff like that. But it's a pretty impressive fire. And then, we always have fires, though.
Yeah.
I mean, that is just a Colorado thing. We have lots of
and it
fires.
is a natural thing. In a lot of ways, the forest will actually self-regulate in a way that, yes, when there is too much downed trees, there's too much foliage underneath all the trees, and that it literally will spark, and lightning happens to have a forest fire happen, and it's very healthy for a large area. Wooded area. So it's actually a good thing in a lot of ways. It's just unfortunate that there's people and houses in the way a lot of times. And it's unfortunate to lose some really cool parks that we have up here and great scenery. So that's just unfortunate all around, even though it's actually really good for what's going around there. So thank goodness for all the firefighters out there who are actually mitigating it and keeping it as contained as they possibly can, and hopefully out at some point. But really, it's just all about kind of dancing around something that happens naturally, because it's in a lot of ways something that we can't mitigate completely.
Yeah, and then Glenwood Springs, the Glenwood Springs area of Colorado, we have I-70, which I-70 connects California with Illinois. Like it literally goes across the entire United States practically. And that I-70 corridor goes right through Colorado, cutting Colorado in half. And it goes
Glenwood Canyon.
It goes through Glenwood Canyon, and they literally had it shut down because the fire was jumping over.
Yeah, there's live cams that I was seeing where the fire is actually going underneath the highway, and it's like literally down to the road. The smoke's kind of engulfing it. So if you were sitting there doing if you're doing the supposed 50-mile-an-hour speed limit through there, you would probably be engulfed in smoke at one point, and then not realize all of a sudden there's a guardrail.
Yeah, that would be bad. They had to shut it down. It was just too bad. So,
for those of you who don't know, that the highway is actually nicknamed the $1 Million Highway because, of course, way back in the day when $1 million actually was worth more, it cost quite a bit to actually not only cut it through the canyon to make that, but it needs regular maintenance from all the rock slides, the shifting. It goes not only through a canyon, but it's right next to a river. So a lot of things go in place to keep that highway up and going. So that poor road, man, is just getting another bashing.
And then they're like, hey, we're going to replace some of this with asphalt because it's cheaper right now. And then it's ruined in like 6 months because they got to put a ton of stuff.
Lots of upkeep.
Yeah. Swgoh Gaming asks, what's my audio setup? So I'm using a Class A servo-based preamp from Rode. It's a nice little board, soundboard. And then I've got a couple of Rode pod mics. And then I have other mics that we've used in the past, but I like these. I think they're great. They do a good job.
Pretty awesome when you only got 2 people.
Yeah. And if we have 3, I use the other mic that I've got buried in front, but
don't want him to feel left out.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and show you this, show you what I've been doing for the last a little over 3 months. I guess I'm going on my 4th month. So the game is pretty cool. The first thing I got to say is have you ever watched a really fun movie and you're like, that was a really fun movie, but it wasn't fully realistic? Like there were some things about it you had to kind of check your brain at the door. Sometimes
suspension of disbelief.
Yeah, sometimes you have to do that with some movies because I mean, if you get too analytical, it just kind of ruins it for you. So I play disc golf in real life. I love disc golf. You do too. And when you play this game, there is some dynamics about this game that are not realistic at all, and you have to kind of check your brain at the door. Now, you've already played this game and quit this game.
Yep, I gave it a good fair chance
for this purpose. One of the reasons that he did was, and he could probably speak on it, but when you throw a disc, if it goes into like sand or rough, you have to choose a sand or rough disc. In real life, if you want to use a friggin' driver outside of sand, you just pick it up and use a driver where you're standing. Like, you don't have to go, well, I'm in sand, I have to use a sand disc. But
hopefully I can scoop it up out of this sand, even though I'm picking it up and throwing it.
But that's what the game does. And that's kind of...
I think the developers originally had a golf game, and then they decided to do disc golf, and they just kind of overlaid some new graphics on it, and this changed the user interface a little bit, but they kept the sound effects, and pretty much the whole graphics engine is all the same. So it's definitely got all the same sound effects and everything too, which I find hilarious and didn't really hold against it, but there's just a few things about the game that didn't really keep me involved.
So the point, though, is that basically they wanted you to force you to use certain discs at certain times, and I get it, right? They want you to have to use different discs, which is kind of cool because you do want to use different discs. So if you use the same, like in real life disc golf, you know this. I'm lazy. I'll just use one driver for the entire 18 rounds. I'll use the driver for driving, mid-range, putting, everything. Like I'm just lazy. I don't even use more than one disc. I'll literally use one disc.
There's a course that I used to go to back in Illinois. It was at Crepe Park, which is funny because we had plenty of jokes and innuendo for that name. But it's a pretty cool course. It is pretty much just a par 3 across the board. There's not a whole lot of anything past like 400 feet or whatever. But I had I think it was like a T-bone or bone. I can't remember what the name of the disc was, but it was a mid-range disc. And I got to the point where I'd literally just par the entire course out with that one disc. So it was a lot of fun if I really wanted to feel good about myself. Then there was the college course that I could go to where you had to reach out to 700 feet at some places and go uphill to do it. So when they called that a par 3 course, I was just like,
whatever.
Yeah, whatever, guys. Yeah, no way. So that was the one where I'd go to try and challenge myself. And when I hated myself for a while, I'd go back to Crepe Park and feel good about myself for a while.
Yep. So they have different discs. If you start to look at this and you start to go, this kind of looks familiar, you've probably played Clash Royale. Clash Royale is a game where you basically get paired up in lifetime against another opponent, and they have a deck that they build, and they have characters, and they use their deck of characters against your deck of characters, and it's one-on-one. Similar, but totally different. You have a deck that you build. Now, you see how I have one on the top, and then there's these other 4 lock boxes. Those are other decks I could unlock. It costs money to unlock them. I'm not going to pay money for the game, so I didn't unlock these. See, go to the store.
You get Al Gore in here to undo that lock box.
Yeah, but you could have that. And the benefit in this game is if you're on a certain course and you realize this course, you would do better having a different driver. You could have a different bag set up with a different driver, a different mid-range for like a long course or a short course or whatever.
You mean like my disc golf bag that has over 22 discs in it?
Exactly. But then they force you to have like 3 or 4 different bags, and you can decide how you want to build these bags. I just build the bag with the best discs that I can possibly have. And that's it. I have one bag. They've got drivers, which drivers are tee shot only, meaning that it's the very first shot you do. You can only use this disc off of a tee. So just like in real disc golf, PDGA and stuff, they try to build you a tee box, like a piece of concrete. Normally.
Or a launch pad, as I call it.
Or a launch pad is what they're supposed to be called. Yeah, launch pads. But they'll build those. Not every course has them and stuff. Our courses, thank goodness, most of them in Junction have them. Most of the courses I go to have those launch pads and whatnot. And the concretes actually, for PDGA, most of them are told how big they can be, because otherwise it's kind of a cheat to have too much concrete. You got too much.
They don't always have to be concrete too. As long as it's a nice level pad that's even dirt or gravel, whatever, that's not too bad. As long as it's something that's actually kind of like cleaned out, so you're not tripping over little lumps in the dirt or something.
And then the way it works is there are like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 level of discs, kind of like characters. There's 5 level of discs. There's the beginner disc that you get. They're literally called beginners. And then there's the green discs, and the top row are kind of your easier to get, and the bottom row are kind of the harder to get. So the Tiger is like your beginner disc. Everybody gets the green one. And then the Throne is a little harder to get. That's the one I use now. And it's a common disc. And just like any other game, it's card based, meaning that you get like a chest, and you unlock the chest, and they give you cards for the disc, and you upgrade the things with cards. And so like I'm 1,374 of 1,800. I need 426 more cards to max out the Tiger.
To unlock or fully wake up all the attributes.
Yeah. And then the green ones, you'll get way more cards of. And then the orange ones, you'll get far less of. And then the purple ones you'll get far less of. And then the weird multicolored ones, you'll never get them except for out of purple chests. And those purple chests can be earned. And I have earned like 5 of them, but you don't always get one. It's like a third to a half of the time you get one of these. And then, of course, you have to get multiple cards to make it leveled
so you
up.
tell me this game has drop rates also?
It does have drop rates, yep. And then the top row, you know, the Tiger is not quite as good as the Throne. The Falcon's really good. It's one of the longest drivers, if not the longest. But the Hexagram is, once leveled up, is a really good disc. The Stallion I used the Stallion for a long time as a driver, but the Phoenix, once leveled up, is significantly better. But you can see I've got way more cards of the top row than the cards on the bottom row, with the exception of the Throne. The Throne, I luckily have more of, and it's a really solid disc. It's why I use it in my bag. It's really great. I'll show you how it works. So these are the drivers.
See just how good it is.
And then you go to long range. Now this is if the fairway is like shorter, so you're like on like maybe a par 3 or something like that. Right. So you can go off of a tee, or you can be in the fairway and you still need to do another drive. You literally need to do another drive. You're too far out. And
you accidentally tripped and dropped the disc like 15 feet in front of you.
Yep. And I actually have every one of them unlocked. I have the Whirlwind, the Fast Food Galaxy. I've got them all. And so the way it works is, green's common, the orange is like uncommon, the purple is rare, and then the multicolored is legendary. Now, I have 3 Chakram. I've actually had this drop multiple times in my purple chests that I've earned, and it is, in my opinion, a trash disc. Most of the legendary discs are trash until they're maxed, and you can't max them without like buying like 100 purple chests, which are all like, you'd have to buy like probably $1,000 worth of purple chests to get these things like leveled up enough that they're worthy of use. So I don't think they're worthy of use. Their other discs are far better. In fact, if you go to...
because you're playing this free to play, right? You're not whaling it out or cracking it.
Yeah, so if you actually go to your bag and you click on a disc, it will pull up right immediately below you the discs that you could choose from. And if you click on one that you're not using, it will do a side-by-side comparison, and you can see, okay, so the power's better. I can go farther. However, you can pull a disc because you use launchers, right? You can't actually get in the game and like throw the disc. So, and they know that. So they had to come up with a way to throw the disc. So they use a launcher. So you use a launcher to throw your disc for you virtually.
Hold on, I got a different launcher for this. Let me just, here we go. All right.
Yeah. And so they use a launcher, and the launcher throws this disc. And so, but you can actually overpower your launcher. And so you can actually make up the power difference most of the time by just overpowering your shot a little bit. So I prefer accuracy over power. Well, if you look, the Kaleidoscope has way more accuracy, and that's a big deal because if you're throwing in to try and literally,
nail the
basket or hit the pole, that'll be a later conversation. Yeah. Because the pole does count. Crazy enough, I know. Check your brain at the door, I said. The accuracy is more important. And then fade and curl are 2 different things. Fade is when the disc lands, where is it going to kind of bounce and roll to? You can actually angle that in this game. Again, check the brain at the door.
From the looks of this game or this disc, yeah, it seems like it'd be kind of hard to get the proper roll out of that. It looks like you're probably trying to mow the grass or chop some tree branches with it.
I know,
instead.
Right? It's a dope looking disc.
It is cool looking.
It really looks like a machined
There's
disc.
a suspension of disbelief.
I want to roll over like a human with that. But I'm just kidding, guys.
We're playing doubles today. Oh, why are you going with the guy you don't like? Because I got a new disc.
Yep, the Chakram. But fade is like you can angle the disc. Once it hits, it will then, you can like change the trajectory of how it bounces. So if it's aiming this way, you can actually move the fade over and have it roll this way. So that's a good thing, right? So the more fade, the more accurate you can be with where the disc kind of lands. So that's a big deal. And you can look, the Kaleidoscope has more. Curl is when the disc hits and follows that fade that you've set. What if your fade doesn't go where you want it to go all the way? Like it's close but no cigar. You can actually then curl the disc even more to give yourself even more, because
like tilt in the pinball machine. Yeah, more that way.
Well, if you've ever played disc golf, you actually kind of like reverse throw, like you kind of give it a curl. And that curl,
Little hyzer or anhyzer.
yep. And again, check your brain at the door. The curl will then give you basically additional fade. So once it hits, it will go even further to the right or further to the left than you initiated with the fade. So it gives you additional fade basically. So it gives you
Essentially
more,
giving you more predictability over the
more,
disc. and how
more
it lands.
predictability, but you have to learn it because it's difficult to kind of understand where curl goes, but curl is good. And then there's guideline. Guideline is like how far a disc rolls. You want to know where it lands, right? And if it just keeps rolling and goes into the grass, you're like, ah. So the shorter the line, the less predictable it is. You can only see where it goes for a short period of time, and then it just goes, all on its own for a while. And you're like, where are you going? What are you doing? So you have to kind of bring your shot way short to make sure it doesn't take you in a terrible place you don't want to be. The longer the guideline, the more accurate you're going to be able to determine where it's going to end up at. So the longer the guideline, because it kind of shows you where it thinks it's going to land. And that's a good thing because you want to know where the disc is going to end out when you throw the disc. So
I think I want to go over here. Can you send me over there? Yeah, I'll do my best, buddy.
So if you look, the chakram sucks in every way but power. And really, it's only 10 feet. And I could overpower and get that 10 feet with my
It
throw.
sucks in everything but spilling the blood of your enemies. Yep, gotcha.
Yeah. So you got midway, or those were tee shots only, driver tee shots only. And then we went to mid-range. Or wait. No, that was long range tee fairway.
Yeah.
And we did drivers.
Drivers,
yeah. So now we're on mid-range. This is off a tee if it's a really short shot, or fairway. Most of the time you're in the fairway, and they groom the grass and everything. So it's kind of like golf. Again, this is
It's really taking the two and blending them quite a bit. There's aspects of it that definitely make it more golf than disc golf and vice versa.
Yeah. And so they took a golf game and made it into a disc golf game. So you got to kind of forgive them for that. But it's brand new, by the way. This came out in May. This game is brand new, just came out in May. So they're just at the precipice of making their game good. I mean, it's brand new. You got to give them a lot of credit for where they're at.
Doing more add-ons, more discs, more paywalls,
Yep. And I use a common disc, the Explorer. It's honestly the reason why. Look at that accuracy. Has plenty of fade, plenty of curl, a good guideline.
I was distracted
plenty
by
of
the
power.
mountainscape, but yeah, it's a pretty disc.
Yeah, plenty of power, and then the accuracy is where it's at. I used to use Raptor, and if you compare the two, the Raptor has more power, a lot. It has more fade, more curl. The guideline is semantic, basically, but it has worse accuracy. So I use the Raptor a lot.
So it's not a clever girl.
But I found myself hitting more eagles with the Explorer. So you know what I mean? Eagles is where it's at.
Oh, you go with what works better.
Yep. And then short range is literally when you're really close to possibly throwing it into the basket.
It's your approach shots.
It's your approach shots when you're trying to throw it into the basket or rolling it into the pole. Now, let me tell you the pole story. A lot of people that play this game get mad, and we have a Facebook page. We have thousands, 12 or 14,000 people on the page. And you know how Star Wars Galaxy Heroes, people get all butthurt and stuff, and they get mad about the game. We have the same thing in the community with this game. People get all upset.
When it comes to gaming, I don't understand that at all.
They're like, this is bull crap. Once upon a time, when I used to play with the PDGA, I don't anymore, but I used to play with the PDGA in my town, Grand Junction. We were certified PDGA players, but we didn't actually have a course that had baskets. The PDGA actually sanctioned and certified a course at Lincoln Park against poles. I'm not even kidding you. Back in 96, 97, 98, 99, and 2000, for 5 years, we had a course that was PDGA certified, and we played a literal world tournament nationwide. And then also we had a regional tournament come to Grand Junction twice that was PDGA sanctioned that was literally against poles. So there is history with playing against poles, but baskets obviously were the way to go, and that overtook, and eventually our courses all got baskets, and that's a
just
thing.
Like you sink a putt in golf, you want to be able to sink a disc in disc golf.
Exactly. However, this game, because of their golf past, have made it where you can sink it into the basket, or if you tink it, like hit the pole,
Yep.
like the old school days of
Because hitting the
disc
pole
golf.
is still accurate. It does definitely take some skill. I mean, sometimes you can hit it by accident or whatever because you're not paying attention. The disc will just fly the way it
Right.
wants to. But if you were intentionally trying to go for the basket and you still hit it in some way, that's still pretty accurate. So I do like that they give you some credit for that.
Yeah. So you can roll it. Basically, you can kind of throw it and let it roll and like hit the pole. It is hard to do, by the way, because the pole is really narrow and man, the basket's way wider. And so it
Well,
is.
it's 300 to 600 feet away. Yeah.
Yep. But you really want accuracy with these discs. And so I use the Crane. Look at that accuracy. Of all the other discs I have.
Exo smelled what I was cooking. Good job.
Yeah, clever girl. There are other discs I could use. I used the Journey. Pretty good disc. I mean, look at that curl and that guideline. Fade at power is good, but the accuracy is maxed out at 59 on the Journey. So the Crane is just a really good disc. I really want the Magpie, but I haven't found it. The accuracy has more capability to go up.
Oh, I know the Crane style. I do not know the Magpie style.
Yeah, I know, right? And then there's these discs I can't unlock or whatever, like the Magic Star. In theory, the Magic Star is really good or whatever. And like this is Machine Armor. This one's kind of cool looking. It literally looks like a.
Good luck at the doctor's office, Matt B. That's not always fun for a child. Bravery to her.
This looks like a saw.
It does. It looks like a circular saw blade.
Yeah, circular saw blade. I've played against a couple.
I've
people
always
with
wanted
them.
to use those as an actual like throwing star and stuff because I throw tomahawks and hatchets and throwing knives. I don't know why I haven't taken the time to sharpen up one of my old saw blades and see if I can sink that into my throwing board.
And I don't have the Salamander. This is a driver. It's a really good driver, apparently. I mean, look at the maximum stat capability. Basically, everything gets maxed once you get maxed, but you got to get it up there. So, yeah, I don't have that one or that one or that one.
Here's another obscure one for you. That egg-sucking salamander.
Yeah. Now, I did get Radioactive. I got 2 legendary discs unlocked, and both of them are the only cards they drop because once you have a disc, once you get a disc, they're more likely to drop discs for the disc you already own, right? So once you unlock, it's hard to unlock, but once you unlock something, then they're like, okay, now we can give him some cards, right? Because he has that. He has that now. So then they become more like lenient with the give. But until you get the thing, they don't. So with this one, I use the Hawk, but if you compare like the Radioactive and the Hawk, my guide is better, my curl is better, my fade is better, my accuracy is better, my power is better. Why would I use this legendary disc? It has to be like a level 5 for it to be better, and it would be, but I just don't get legendary cards. So I use common because you get common all the time dropped. And so that's my suggestion is really just use the common discs because the common discs drop so much. You get them leveled up so fast. You can use them. And a lot of common discs are really, really good. The Hawk is literally one of the best discs in the game. The Journey, if you don't have the Crane, the Journey is amazing. The Explorer I use, that's amazing. The Tiger or Throne, I use the Throne. The Tiger is a really good follow-up disc. The T-Rex is amazing if you don't get one of the others. Or, fast food's okay. Yeah,
You want to use fast food sparingly, really. It's not something you want to be on 100% of the time.
Yeah, right. And then there's Out of the Sand. And so they do require you when you're in the sand to throw a sand disc, which is dumb. But
It's my sandwich disc.
again, I use a common. I don't have the legendary disc unlocked, of course. I only have 2 of the like 7 discs unlocked. The Canoeing is the one I use, and it's super. I mean, it's a common disc, but it's like a really good disc. Like I said, they have put common discs in play that are really pretty good. And then I don't have the legendary putter. I did get finally the like rare putter, the Vitality, and the Vitality is a solid putter. Until then, I would use the compilation or whatever because it had really good accuracy and curl. Just the power wasn't there. It was just hard to hit a drive. I threw like I do in real life. And then you can get these launchers. Launchers they give them to you for free in chests. You get them all the time. Like I have never bought the white ones or the blue ones or the red ones.
I do find it an interesting caveat to the game where you get a chest, but in order to open it, you have to start the countdown timer in order for it to open. So you have to sit there and click on it and say, oh, this one's going to take 8 hours, 12 hours, 3 hours, and then hopefully remember to go back and open it so you keep your little queue open.
Yep. So the only ones that I've actually bought in this game, and I did buy them, is the Doodles. And the Doodles are my favorite launcher. They're a nice balanced launcher, and you can see I've got 542. All the other launchers, all the other launchers that I have are completely given to me by the game. The game has given me all of those launchers in the game. So if you were wanting to use free launchers, you know, that's each launcher represents a game. So I have literally almost 500 games I could play with other launchers, but I like A, consistency, having the same launcher every time, and B, I like the Doodle the best. So I did buy those. So I have spent some money. I'm like $110 in this game after 4 months. I bought a $10 pack and a $100 pack. So, yep, it's going to happen. It's way better than it was with Star Wars Galaxy Heroes.
Always got to dip the toe a little bit, right?
Yeah. Well, the $10 pack was literally in the first month, and it was like, yep, I'm doing that one. They give you those good packs. And then after playing it for almost 3 months, you know, on the very beginning of third month, they had a really cool pack that you could buy for $100 that gave you the $100 worth of crystals plus a ton of crap. And I got, actually, if you look, I actually got these throwers right here in that pack, and they're like really amazing on wind resistance and power. I haven't used them yet because I use the Doodle, but
they kind of look like multicolored batarangs, but yeah.
So I have 4 chests. I've got a gold, which is cool. They drop about 30% of the time, and then about 70% of the time these other ones. But there's different chests you can get. They have a card shop you can buy. Now this is a warrior tip of the day. If you ever play this game, they'll drop cards you don't own. It's like discs you want but don't have. And they give you a crap ton of crystals in this game. They really do. This developer is very generous, very generous. These 1,000 crystals I've got, as I've totally earned this in the last, like...
That's how they hook you. Come on in. We got free crystals.
2 weeks, I got 1,000 crystals. You can easily get 1,000 crystals in 2 weeks. Not a big deal. And there's no like arena. You're not tied down to a certain time frame or anything like that. It's just, you know, you just go and play. You could play it in the morning or in the afternoon or evening or whatever, but there's no time frame.
Whatever you like.
Yeah. And if you see a card in here you don't have, if you've been saving your crystals, you just buy the card once. And once you have the card once, then the game goes, oh, okay, they have the card. And then they start to release that card in your chests that you have. So you don't even have to, you know, buy it multiple times.
Priming the drops a little bit.
Yeah, you prime the drops. Exactly. And then here's the 3 different types of chests. You've got, you know, the basic gray ones or whatever that you get, but then you've got gold chests, the platinum chest, and the platinum chest drops like 5 to 10% of the time in your wins. Gold chests 25 to 30% of the time, and the silvers the other 75% of the time. The diamond chests are worthless. Now, the kind of cool thing about this is they do these things called lucky rewards. Most of the time, lucky rewards are not lucky; they're dumb. But sometimes,
once in a while,
sometimes like you could save up 2,000 crystals in a month, easy. And then they'll give you a lucky reward where they say for 2,000 crystals, you can have a diamond chest. I've bought 2 diamond chests this way for 1,800 on a lower tier, a tour, and then one for 2,000. So like 3,800 crystals. And I got 2 of them and normally one is like 3,800. So I was able to get 2 of those. And that's how I got a couple of my legendary discs that I don't use. So anyway, my suggestion is crystals. Like, you know how in Star Wars Galaxy Heroes, we say, always spend the crystals on the energy. All energy, right? That's that.
Want your refreshes.
With this game, all of your crystals should go towards a launcher.
Yep.
And if you can't get the Doodle, you should be going for the Lizard. The Lizard is like the runner-up. Power's not the best and spin's not the best, but that's okay. You really want wind resistance, and that's a 2. That's the best wind resistance you're going to get for this. I mean, 300 gets you 45 games.
It does play a factor in the game.
Yeah, 300 gets you 45 games. I could buy this now and have 135 games with this launcher for the crystals I own that they've given me in the last, you know, a little over a period of time. So, and if we go to the settings, well, actually, no, let's not go to there. Let me go back. In the little menu, I wanted to show you this. So server maintenance, they did this. They did a server maintenance, and then they literally do a crystal give. See that 200? Do you see that 200 crystals? They do this like once a week. They give you 200 crystals once a week, and then here's another one, another glitch 6 days ago. This is literally a week later. an unexpected glitch. Now I want to talk about these because, and then here's a sorry. Look at this, 500,000.
What's that, gold coin?
Yeah, gold coins. Those are the game currency. Now, so the sorry was I wrote them and I said, hey, I was playing the game and it like glitched out on me and I lost because of the glitch. And I sent a couple screenshots of like the glitch, and they know about the glitch. And they were like, they sent me a sorry with my money back. Like, it wasn't even a fight. They didn't even like go, oh no, we can't do this. Or like in a, foreign language, like, oh, we can't understand you or whatever. Like, it was just like, it was literally like, I opened up the ticket.
No speak English, talk to Google Play, bye.
Yeah. It was like, sorry, here's your money back. Like, they don't fight me. And by the way, I've done this 3 times in the last 3 months. And every single time they've sent me the money I've requested, the credits I requested with no fight. The very first time, they said, well, we don't know what to do about it, whatever. I was like, you just need to give me the money I lost. And then they said, okay, here you go. And then ever since then,
I don't know. How do we do this? Oh, you do it this way. Okay.
I think the first time they look to see if you're going to give pushback. And if you don't, they don't. And if you do, then they just submit and relent. But they've done this a number of times. Now these disappear after a couple of weeks, so you can't see all the previous sorries, but
either way, it sounds like pretty great customer service so far.
Yeah. Aldry says, what's up, you guys? So what's up?
Howdy.
This compensation for an unexpected glitch, though, is actually them breaking the game in a terrible way and then having to go fix it because the game players got really pissed off and like complained about it. And so they actually reversed what they did and then gave us crystals to apologize. Can you believe that? They sent an in-game message saying, we're sorry.
I'm sorry gift.
Yep. Now they did call it an unexpected glitch. And the funny thing is so what it was is, how curl, I've mentioned curl, you could like straighten the disc out once it hits the ground, you can change the trajectory of the disc. They made it to where curl didn't do that. And basically curl was not working right, to where curl only worked in the air. So you could get a little bit of more like motion in the air, but it didn't do anything when it hit the ground. But we've been playing for now almost 4 months and curl works a certain way. It's a literal dynamic of the game and it works a certain way. It works X. And they just changed it, just like got rid of it. And we were all pissed. And there was a bunch of people like, we're quitting and all of that. And the game developers let it go on for like 2 days, saw the feedback, and then they wrote like, hey, it was a glitch. And they like rolled back the change. They were like, well, that was messed up. So they changed it back. Yeah, they changed it back. And then they gave everybody 200 crystals. And by the way, they do server maintenance every single week and give 200 crystals every single week. And then on top of the crystals, they give free rewards here, which you can get. You can go and get 25, 50, 5, 75, 1, like 3 or 4 times a day. So you can go in and get free rewards, every like 6 hours. It's kind of like getting your free energy in the other game. You are rewarded for going in multiple times in the game. You don't have to do this. Like, it's not a huge loss if you don't go in and get it in this game, okay, but you do get a launcher, you do get crystals. That's really what you're going in for, is the launcher and some crystals. They add up. And then they also do some free rewards. So I've done enough talking. Let's go play. I want to show them how to play. Now, I'm going to be honest, you guys, I can play on my cell phone really damn good. You can see this, by the way, because if you look up here and look at my profile, I'm at max trophies. 9810 is the highest you go in the world. I've earned almost 400 million of these credits, and I currently have almost 60 million coins in my bank. I've won all these trophies, which aren't anything super special, but I've like
badges of honor.
Yeah, like 31st on that one. It's like, okay.
I liked Zevis's comment earlier when you were talking about crystals and compensation for server down and all that. It's like, whoa, they also gave you 3 shards of Clone Wars Chewbacca.
I know, right?
It's always great compensation for that because, we always need more of those in Galaxy of Heroes, right, guys?
Yeah, and I will say, like, there's tons of players that are better than me. I'm not even going to pretend like I'm like the best player at all. I'm just saying that I know what I'm doing. But on an emulator, are you kidding me? Emulators, I have to use a freaking mouse. This is going to be...
Some people think that's more control. Other times it's like, no, it just throws off the whole style you're used to playing with.
If there's any kind of lag whatsoever, this is going to be a terrible experience. But anyway, I've played almost 2,000 games. I've won 63% of them. I'm on a 3-game win streak, which means the game will probably throw me a bot, which a bot is basically the computer records you playing, and then they take your really good replay. Like if I get an albatross or an eagle, it'll record that. And then when somebody's having a win streak, they'll take my albatross and they'll play it against that person as if they're playing me, but they're really not playing me. They're playing my replay. And then that person loses to my albatross because they're on an eagle streak. And the game does that to force that person a loss. It's just like any game. They do that.
Dave Baker, good morning. Good morning.
So that is a real thing. And then my longest drive with the throne, by the way, and the throne is one of the lowest drive capability discs, is 483 feet almost, which is pretty awesome. 31 hole-in-ones, 17 albatrosses, almost 400 eagles, and almost 900 birdies. So I kind of know what I'm doing. You can come up here. You can see where I'm at in my Masters 2 division. I'm in 8th place, which gets me a silver chest and a promotion at the end of this 4 days. If you go to World, you can see everyone's at 98.10 at the top. Like everyone has max trophies at the top, and I'm 138th place right now because they just randomize who gets to sit at the top. It changes. So if I like lose some trophies and then gain my trophies back, it will put me in a different position in the top.
It's a fast moving leaderboard, I've noticed.
Yeah, it's really fast. And so they just kind of randomize who gets to sit on the top based on who hits, the top kind of thing.
Yep. Evan decided to play just now 5 minutes ago and had a good win streak, so therefore he's at first.
Oh, that's pretty cool. So I want to go in and just kind of show you the basics of the game. I've got 58 million, so I'm okay if we lose a few and lose some money. Let's go into, I don't care. Let's go into vacation and let's play.
That's all I ever wanted.
Yeah, let's go play vacation. It's got to download the courses because this is my computer. Yeah. It's an emulator.
You have not played here yet.
Yeah, and since I have all 4 baskets or all 4 chests filled, if I play for fun. I don't actually win. Even if I win, I get the coin, but I won't actually get any of the baskets. So if you wanted to keep the baskets, and then the basket you get, or the basket, I keep calling them baskets, the chest you earn is earned on the tour level you're at. So I'm like a tour 5. Here's a tour 4. And the chest, the higher you go, the better the amount of cards you get. And if you look at discs will tell you what tour they unlock at. So like this is tour 7, this is tour 7, tour 5, tour 2. So the helm, I only have to get to tour 2 to potentially unlock that disc, but I've still yet to unlock it. And any tour past tour 2 could unlock that disc, but I've yet to unlock it. So it just is what it is. So full chest slots. No chest will be won, but you'll still get coin. Okay. They're like, all right. Hopefully you guys can hear that. Let me see.
The Escape podcast. Yes, I have tried.
Yeah, looks like you got in-game audio. Just make sure you let me know how the in-game audio sounds.
Yeah. Is it breaking your eardrums? Is it nothing? Is it quiet, scratchy?
Yeah, and hopefully it's hopefully there's not a lot of lag and stuff. I've never played this game on an emulator, so I have no idea how playing this game on an emulator is going to be. I'm hoping it's not stupid.
It'll either be awesome or hilarious.
Okay, well, so let's switch to backhand, and I'm just going to go.
Let's go ahead and change over to this flux capacitor so I can get the full 21.1 gigawatts, and then I can use this disc to
do you see
curve
that,
around
that line? What I want to do
equator of the world
is, and so you can see there, that's going to shoot me to the left. And so what I want to do is I'm going to put it back here because it's going to drag me this way, the thing is. And then what I'm going to do is shoot, and I'm going to drag this way. This is that fade I was talking about. And there's
Seems
a little
completely
bit of,
backwards in the
there's
brain,
a little bit
but
of
it
lag,
works.
but watch, when it lands, it will actually straighten out. Whoa, and I went too far. I'm in the rough. That's okay. What I don't get is on my
You're
phone.
in the rough, but not in the rough.
On my phone, I can like spin the angle and stuff. I don't know how to do the spinning of the angle on this. That's gonna be difficult.
Yeah, especially if you got to zoom in or anything too.
Yeah, on my phone, I know.
You'd be like touching your computer screen, going, "What the heck? Why is it not going?"
Yeah, I know how to like twist and turn the screen and zoom in and zoom out, and like I don't know. I'm gonna have to figure that out.
I don't know, have to play around a bit.
But it's kind of a cool background. I definitely don't want to play at the $1 Million Tour because I don't know what I'm doing yet on this emulator. I play the $1 Million Tour only on my phone because that's just where I'm at. in the game. Ooh, a sand shot. So now he has to use a sand disc to get out of there.
Now you'll get to see the frustration level of this type of disc.
Yeah, and so we'll move
The thing
this.
what I think I find funny about that is like, okay, yeah, maybe in the sand, okay, fine, it's going to take a little bit to get out, but just like in regular golf, you are not going to hit a couple 100-yard shot out of a bunker. It's just not going to happen, even with the disc.
So I'm going to do this, and if you notice, the wind is actually going to push my disc forward, which should push my guideline into the basket. So we're going to go ahead and shoot this. And we're going to put this right in the middle, and then we're going to, oh, that was way off because of my mouse. I'm blaming the mouse.
Lucky
dude.
bounce.
Yeah, that was a terrible shot.
Aw.
I did try to release right on the middle, and the mouse does have a slight lag. That sucks. I'm going to have to really get used to that.
It's the mouse's fault. Throw it away.
I'm blaming the mouse the rest of the day, dude. That's totally my...
It's all new.
It's definitely easier with your finger, you know what I mean, and your phone. I got to figure out how to like screen capture my phone on here instead of using an emulator. That would be the bee's knees. Unfortunately, Samsung has tried to like ruin that. They've destroyed that. I don't know.
Put the kibosh on it.
Yeah. Yep. They did that. They
Oh, my,
actually.
this dude's having a rough time. Of course, I guess you went down to a lower level tournament, didn't you?
Yeah. And then, of course, you just back it up and, whoa, I'm having a hard time.
Just back it up, back it up, back it up.
Oop. So I got a birdie.
Birdie.
That's trash. You should be shooting eagles only. So we'll see.
It's like golf clash with disc golf.
And so, yeah, see, watch, he's going to spin the view probably. I've got to figure out how to spin the view. You know what I could do is I have another laptop that's a touchscreen.
Oh, yeah, there you
If
go.
I could get my other laptop,
Up to snuff with all this.
the problem is that laptop sucks. It does not, it could not render all of this stuff.
Ooh, he's going for the pole.
Yeah, he was going for the pole. I was going for the pole too. I'll be honest on my eagle.
Mm-hmm. I mean, why wouldn't you?
This is like Golf Clash, but with disc golf. Yes, it's exactly. Actually, it's called Golf Rival, and this is Disc Golf Rival. So they took Golf Rival, and oh, he can't play right now. It's probably a replay anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I went up. And so really what it is they basically took a golf game and then they skinned over it. Oh, they're like Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes.
Take something original and just change it around a little bit.
Yeah.
We got different colors, guys. Come on.
Territory battles. Wait, this is a geo territory battles. No, but yeah, it's kind of funny. But they are starting to tweak it uniquely to its own game. It's only been out for 3 months, you guys. So here's one of those lucky rewards that pops up that you get 3 minutes, and they do this throughout your gameplay. So as you play, it will do this. Now, do you see how it says 30% off? They go from like rare to epic to like legendary. Like they give you the same kind of like the discs go up in rarity. So do the rewards. They go up in rarity. And so you want to wait until you see like 50% off. The other thing is you never in this game buy coin. You earn it. You can earn coin easily.
Just play. Just play the game.
Just play in the game. Exactly. I went up to 7th place. Weird. Let's play. You know what's funny? I have been playing Tour 9 for so long. I don't even remember that's the other thing too. They download new courses all the time to keep it fresh. So like that course, I've never seen it before.
Nice.
Ever.
Even at that level too, huh?
Yeah, and I played through all these levels, but the courses that they had 2 months ago, they've added a ton of new courses.
Nice.
So a lot of times we'll go into a tournament and they'll pull that course for the tournament for like hole 6 is that course. And I'm just like, oh my God, I've never seen this. And people are like, oh, that's hole number 11 from Tour 5. I'm like,
Because
really?
you guys memorize these? Wow.
Apparently. Okay. But anyway, so that's
I thought I had too much time on my hands.
Yeah. And then we'll go and play again. And if I get some poor sap that's actually a real player, that would be sad. Mm-hmm. So a lot of these that you play are going to be replays, and replays are where the computer has recorded someone playing And I've actually played this. This is on Tour 9. So it's on Tour 5 and Tour 9. So why? Because what they'll do is they'll just take this exact course and then give it twice the wind and put it on Tour 9. But take half the wind and make it on Tour 8. So, oh, he's got a legendary disc. He's got the Salamander.
Cool looking, but again, that suspension of disbelief because you're like, going, man, that disc would be terrible.
Yeah, and then it bounces, bing, bing, bing. Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do my normal stuff with this stupid mouse. We're gonna do our best, but it's really I can't spin the view. So this is interesting.
We'll have some magic. Some disc magic.
Yeah. Good luck. So he is a real human, by the way.
Yeah.
We'll go like this.
He's all talking and stuff.
Yeah, and we'll go, good luck. And then we're just going to curl it just a little.
Some of these emojis are a little creepy looking.
See, I can't release it right on the perfect because of the delay. There's like a lag. Oh, no. Yeah. That's good. That's a good one. Right in the corner.
Yes. Ah!
Yeah, you want to clear those trees because you got to throw, and if those trees are in your way.
Yeah.
So we'll see what he does. So he's lined up to do a really cool shot over the sand. I'm actually going to shoot over the sand.
Gonna bounce the bunker.
Yeah, I can actually shoot over that sand. It's really kind of cool. Oh, what are you doing? No.
Wait, no. Yes, no.
Just curl it. So you can curl it, and it will actually bounce trajectory-wise from where it lands to the far left. All he's got to do is pull it back and pull it to the hard left. There you go.
So maybe after release, you can actually like click on the
screen.
He
knows exactly what he's doing, but the release, I gotta figure out my release. That is an excellent reverse shot, and it's going to land and bounce. Oh, never mind.
Darn.
Well, that's what I'm going to end up doing. You know it because
in the roof.
Yeah, because my stupid,
silly mousy mouse situation.
Yeah, I definitely want to figure that out. So we don't want any. So if you look like this left rolls up or down, and then the top fade determines, how far or whatever. So I can basically take it as high as I want. It's going to push it away. We're going to pull it back, pull it as far to the left as I can, and then pull it down just a little. Oh, that was a great shot. That was a great shot. I think this will be solid. And look at that, bounced over. Oh! That was a pretty decent shot. I'm pretty happy with that.
Right where he wanted it.
I got a good release on that. He was trying to do the very thing I just did, but his release was bad and it went into the rough, and he's got to use a crappy disc. He's also not using a launcher. He's using like the base launcher, the like free launcher, which kind of sucks. It really does. They kind of, handicap you with a crap launcher.
You want to play free? Oh, no.
Yeah. But this is the deal. They give you a lot of free crystals, and if you used all those crystals...
Oh, no.
If you use those crystals for launchers, there's no reason why you couldn't ever have a launcher. Honestly, anyone that goes, I'll say unlucky. Sorry, bro. You were unlucky.
It's no fun.
We're going to drop this down like that, and then we're going to pull it, and we're going to... This is too accurate a shot for me. I'm going to jack this up, but... Oh, I actually might get this.
It's too accurate a shot for my perfectness here.
Oh, dink. Eagle. But it is a pole shot, so it does differentiate. It says eagle or eagle pole, and it was an eagle pole. And it says chest slots full. I'm going to leave it open. He can rematch me if he'd like. If he runs, that's fine, but I want to give him an opportunity to rematch, so I'm going to leave it open.
Give an opportunity to sweep up.
Sorry, I can't play right now. He's ran away. He was a real player, by the way. You could tell because the emojis going back and forth were like genuine and legit.
They made sense.
Yeah, they made sense, exactly.
As opposed to, unlucky. Dude, I just got an eagle.
Enjoying disc golf? You can only have two choices. Oh, see, okay, so here's a lucky reward. 9 free gems if you watch a video. Sorry, you guys. You have to watch.
Yep. You guys get an advertisement.
Oh, wait. It's not going to let me watch it because I'm live streaming or what? No. No, give it to me. I want
look. Hey, here we go. Hey, here we go.
Yeah, right, we get to watch Star Wars. I don't care, man. I'll take every crystal for free. Or Star Trek.
Someone just blew a gasket. Oh, Star Wars.
Yeah, someone just freaked out.
Sorry, Trekkers, Trekkins, Trekkies.
Yeah, it's the only one that matters. Star Trek. I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah. Now, how do I get out of it? There we go.
Hey,
there's my 9.
Opa.
Wait, that didn't look like it worked. I was at 10:58 beforehand.
I thought it was 10:49.
Was it?
That's so.
Okay, then maybe I did get them. I don't know. But anyway, they do that a lot. As you play, every couple of games you play, they'll give you free rewards like that. You can get free discs, free disc stuff. And so they're like super generous anyway. I have fun with it, and they give you free stuff. Let's play another one. What time is it, by the way? Where are we at? Audrey's like, noise, LOL. What?
Getting close.
10:53?
10:19.
Oh, 10:19.
Yeah. I'm about to get to my my other
Story
job
time.
here a little bit.
Yep.
Time to
so
go ahead and move into
actually,
that.
we should do your story time. Let's do
right.
story time, brother.
Let's go to that.
Yep. So really quick before we do story time, I'm thinking about helping people who do play this game on my channel. Since I do play it and I do enjoy the game and I know a little bit about it now, I'm thinking about making some, instructionals and how-tos and some beginner videos and all of that and putting it on my channel. And from time to time, maybe throwing it on my once a week live stream with you guys. Don't know if you enjoyed it enough to do that or not, or if you enjoy the cards and the socialization hour more. Leave those in the not this comment, but I would love for you to go when the video goes live on my channel to actually go into the comment section and let me know in the comment section if you liked this game enough that I could use it on live streams occasionally.
The live chat's kind of hard to navigate after the fact.
Yeah, you could, but I would just prefer it be in the regular comment section because I go there all the time to respond to each and every comment that's left in there. So let me know what you think. Super fun game. I enjoy it. If none of you play it, that's cool. I really don't care, but
I enjoy this game more now watching you play it than I did playing it. So
yeah, well, I just wanted to play it and show people what I'm doing because people are like, well, are you playing a new game? They ask me that all the time.
Right.
And I'm like, well, actually, I have been now for 3 months and I've been talking about showing them. So I wanted to at least do that and show you. I do think the game has a long way to go before it's like super amazing. We do really quick have things like this, the throw of fortune, which is like a free throw they give you and you can win a bunch of cool free stuff. They do that once every 2 weeks, which is really fun. They also do tournaments, which is really fun. Tournaments are how you win these little rewards. Like these are
badges of honor.
Yeah, these little badges of honor. This was a tournament that we just did. I was 31 in the tournament. I'm not even very good in the tournaments, I'll be honest. I shoot like crap in the tournaments. Green is for rookies. I was a rookie when I did that tournament, and then the rest are pro. And there's only pro and rookie right now. So, yeah, it's fun. But anyway, if it's something you guys like, I'm happy to occasionally throw it on a live stream as something to do. It'll give me something to do with you and show you if I don't have.
I don't know what to do with my hands right now.
Yeah, I know, right? But we want to end with story time, and you and I both do have to get out of here in about 10-ish minutes. So we want to give you a chance to do story time because you had kind of a fun hunting story, and those are always, those are always fun.
Well, it's also fun to relive moments that I had with my grandfather because he passed away almost 3 years ago now. And my grandma just recently as well. So I guess she decided to kind of hang on for another 2 years. So it was nice to be able to have a nice longer goodbye for her. But all that to say, back in the day, I used to go hunting with my dad all the time. We used to live in Colorado Springs. He used to do bow hunting a lot, doing archery, so I would always tag along with him, and it was always a fun experience because I was an early riser as well, so I'd always get up with him to go out to the middle of nowhere into the wilds and drive through a cul-de-sac of some new subdivision so that you could basically walk through $1 million houses so you could get to the access of the national forest because certain areas of Colorado Springs just doesn't care about forests anymore. They just want to build up into the mountains. So
that's crazy.
This has been something that's been a part of my life for a long time. So recently, my grandpa was getting up in age, and he's not really able to go out to some of these far-reaching places we always go to. But the beauty of that is he decided to invest more into the outfitting of the hunting situation. So whatever family members want to come along, he'd always try to provide the deer blinds. He'd always go scouting beforehand. He would use game cameras. He would try and show us all the good areas we'd want to go, for the area that we had our tags for. And he also had side-by-side and four-wheelers and plenty of machines available for us to just kind of really make the whole experience that much more enjoyable, because it was always about getting out and spending time with him. But he was always this kind of guy that it's like, no, we go out to hunt because we're going to put free food on the table. I mean, obviously, by the time you get done paying for all of your outfitting and your tags and all of that, once you get done with all that, it's like, okay, you didn't really get free, meat by any means, but it's definitely cheaper than what you'd get at the store, and it's organic and it's grass-fed.
It's really more about the experience, don't you think?
Definitely about getting out into nature and spending time with family and that. So kind of as a last hoorah, this was about, 5-6 years ago now. Talked to my grandpa about it. He had not been going hunting for a while and had horrible luck the last few years. So he asked me if I wanted to go to the unit that we normally go to, and he invited me along with my one of my uncles. So we got up there pretty early. This is second season of elk season, so I ended up getting a bull tag for this particular unit, and we decided to go out on the first opening day. Second season is 9 days, so if you get up there every single day or you go camp out up there, you can hunt for those full 9 days compared to the first season or third season, which is only 5 days. So it's kind of nice for that. You don't have to do the draw and everything, but so we get everything all loaded up. We get the side-by-side. My grandpa's a Polaris 800 side-by-side. Also has a Polaris Sportsman 400, which I think this one was just made on the right day on a Tuesday or something like that, because this poor machine has been rolled, ran into things, wrecked, rebuilt numerous times. And somehow that thing, unfortunately, with both my grandpa, my other uncle, my grandma, this is all broken bones on them at some point because of going up something too steep and rolling back over on themselves, or something treacherous and ridiculous. But ironically enough, that was my favorite out of all of them. And I never once got into a wreck with it, like never got anything too sketchy or anything like that. And just, either I'm a safer rider, I don't know. But, so the three of us get loaded up and head up there good and early in the morning. It was about an hour drive to get up there in the first place, but this is a nice area above Paonia Reservoir in Colorado. And it's really cool because it's a unique situation where the BLM land is actually got a section just before National Forest, both legally huntable areas. And this is a little sliver of land that's before you go over private property, which has got access, and then you go into the National Forest of that unit. But technically, it's all part of that same hunting area. Most people don't know this. So we've hunted this area quite a bit for many a year, and my grandpa's had pretty good luck there. A few of my family members had good luck there too. So we get up there, and it's pretty early in the morning. We go to our respective spots. My grandpa has a spot picked out for me, which is actually in a tree stand up on a ridge overlooking this beautiful valley. So seeing the sunrise up over that mountain area and range is always pretty beautiful. So half the time you got to realize that you're being distracted by the sunrise when there's something walking over here that you're not paying attention to. So it's trying to keep your attention both ways. So we spend the first 5 hours of the morning up until about noon not seeing anything, at least as far as I can tell. My uncle's on the ridge behind me. My grandpa's way off in another meadow inside of his deer blind, which is basically a tent, and he's got a little propane heater in there, and it's like, a nice cushy chair and everything. But at this point, my grandpa's 85, so it's kind of like, yeah, you get the lap of luxury over there. Don't worry, we're not gonna give you any crap about that not being true hunting or whatever. But to give you a little bit of a background with my grandpa, he is definitely the kind of guy that wants to always put food on the table. Doesn't matter if you're going out, when you're going out, what you're going up for, whatever. By golly, you got to get something when you go up there. And sometimes that ventures into the realm of not very ethical hunting. In his mind, it's better off to put food on the table than it is to worry about, oh yeah, you may have had the bull tag, but I happened to see it, so I took a good shot. So there you go, I filled your tag for you. And it's like, we've had conversations with him about this. It's like, again, more old school mentality about it. We're not all starving here. This isn't something that we do because we absolutely have to put food on the table. It's more for the sport of it and all that. But I've had conversations with him about this before, so I think he knows good and well that it's like, no. If you're hunting with me, you're not filling my tag for me. I'm doing that. I'm staying legal. So he happens to see this pretty nice bull. I had a bull tag, so my grandpa and my uncle both had cow elk tags. He happened to see this pretty nice sized bull walk right across his blind. And he actually had it in the crosshairs for a while, but he's like, no, I remember what you told me. And he's like, I know you'd be pretty sore at me if I pulled the trigger. So I went ahead and let it go on by. And I was like, yeah, good thing you did. Later on in the day, me and my uncle went for a hike because it was about noontime. We decided to get out of the tree stand, kind of walk around for a little bit, kind of get the blood flowing, which turned into a 5.5 mile hike, getting lost. We ended up losing the side-by-side that we took up there because he wanted to go hiking, and my uncle is a pack mule. The guy just will not stop. He's all of like 5'5", 5'6", pretty short guy, carries a big, 300 Winchester Browning hunting rifle, semi-automatic. And for some reason, this guy can just go and go and go. I mean, he was walking me to the point where I was like falling over. This is rough terrain, up and over logs, through meadows, through thick wooded areas, oak brush, getting on your hands and knees in some areas, just really going for it. 2 or so hours doing this, maybe 3, and again, saw nothing. Finally get back to the side-by-side, find it. Okay, thank God for that. Have a nice little rest as I'm sitting there riding back because we're bouncing through the trail. Go back, talk to my grandpa for a little bit, and then go back to my tree stand to kind of finish out the day. Now, again, this is opening day. So again, when you walk out there, you got this mentality of, I'm going to go enjoy the scenery. I'm going to go enjoy some quiet time. I'm going to have, some nice conversations and that with myself and, kind of enjoy the scenery and everything. So I'm kind of settling in for the long run here. There's nothing about this day that tells me that, it's going to be an exciting hunt or something else is going to happen. I mean, we're not seeing much movement, which it all depends on the day. Sometimes opening day can be a rush. Sometimes it can be a bust, So I'm kind of settling in for the bust here. You're not seeing much. So my uncle goes back on the other side of the ridge, decides to walk around for a while. My grandpa's still in his blind there. All of a sudden, I start to realize that it's starting to get a little dark. I check my watch, and I'm like, okay, we're in that magic hour now. It's kind of like the last hour of the day. You can sit there, and you can see the sun over the ridge. You know about how much time you have left. It's about this time that I realized that the four-wheeler that I'm walking back to has my flashlight in it, and I've got some pretty rough terrain to walk back to my four-wheeler. So I'm thinking in my head going, oh, darn, I probably should get out of the tree stand and head back before it gets too dark because I'm not going to see anything. I don't want to be tripping through the dark, trying to find my way, kind of feel around through this pretty rough terrain. So I'm like, all right, do one last scan of the ridge, see what's going to happen here. So pull out my binoculars. I'm doing a nice slow scan across the horizon, down through the valley, up over the ridge. See this nice big pine tree, kind of start to scan a little bit. And all of a sudden I see this giant rack take 2 steps out behind the tree, turn, and look as if he's looking directly into my eyes through my binoculars, like, whoo, okay. Now, if any of you guys have hunted before, you know the adrenaline rush suddenly. You know the shaky feeling. It's like, you're all calm, everything's fine, everything's super quiet, you're listening to the sounds of nature and all that. Suddenly you see what you're looking for come across your crosshairs. All bets are off as to whether or not you're going to stay calm for a situation like this. So I see him stand nice and broadside for me. At this point, he's probably about 700 yards away on this opposite ridge. So pretty well beyond the capability of the rifle that I have, because I have a World War I era Eddie Stone Enfield 1917, and it's chambered in 30-06. So this round could reach out to there with the proper scope, with being sighted in and all that. But rewind back to when I was actually getting ready for this hunt, you have to go and sight your rifle in, make sure the scope's in, make sure you set it to the range you want. If you know you're going to be reaching out pretty far, setting your scope range out to 100, 150 yards is much more desirable because you're going to be more accurate out there, not to have as much Kentucky windage. So I'm trying my darndest to get this old rifle sighted in, and I'm not going to blame it fully on the scope because obviously operator error can come into play here, but when you realize that this rifle came from World War I, it's already been sporterized, which means you take off part of the extra wood stock, you shave off the iron sight, the ghost ring sight that it used to have, and then mount D-rings on it so you can actually have a scope on there. So a lot of customization's already gone into this rifle, but to the tune of almost 100 years. Well, yeah, at this point now, 100 years ago. So, I mean, it's an old rifle. Yeah. The more rounds you fire through a rifle, the more the bore will actually open up a little bit and it won't be as accurate anymore. So when I'm trying to sight into 150 yards, every shot that I have is hitting low left and I can't do anything to rearrange that. And I had no time to actually go back and sight it in correctly. So I'm actually going out there slightly unprepared at this point. By the time I see this bull start walking down the hill graciously towards my tree stand, down into the bowl of this valley that I'm looking into, he gets to within what we gauge to about 330 yards after all said and done. So he finally gets broadside to me. He's about to walk behind another ridge, but he pauses for just a second. So this is where you try to take that nice deep breath, let it out, and at the bottom of your breath, touch the trigger off. I assume that I do all of this accordingly, and I try to touch the trigger off the way that I'm supposed to. Well, it ends up being, nope, I'm probably doing this number as I'm trying to sit there and aim up for him. So, it's definitely a adrenaline situation. So I decide, okay, I'm going to go ahead and touch the trigger off and just see what happens. And this is at a downward angle into the valley, kind of off the left. So I'm trying to compensate for the offness of my rifle, plus on top of the fact shooting at a weird angle at about 300 plus yards. So touch off the first round. And unfortunately, once that adrenaline kicked in, I noticed the first one hit near its feet, nice big cloud of smoke, and all of a sudden he starts dancing around like, what the heck was that? Doesn't run away completely, starts like running in circles, like, I don't know which way to go, like almost like he knows what's happening, like somebody's shooting at me. So in my presence of mind, I think, okay, before he runs away, let's get another round down there. My grandpa talks to me afterwards and he goes, are you shooting a semi-automatic? I'm like, no, the adrenaline was shooting that bolt action because unfortunately I managed to touch off 6 rounds.
What?
Before I actually hit it. And unfortunately, it was not... I think what happened at some point is it got scared and tripped over something else, so it ended up rolling down the hill. Come to find out later, I actually got it in the leg the first time, so took out one of its legs. By the time it rolled and stopped at the end of the hill, I managed to calm down long enough to get a good kill shot in an area of the elk that I wouldn't really want. So you're always hoping for the best case scenario.
Right.
Line them up broadside, get the heart of the lungs, go right behind the leg, just in that perfect kill shot area to where it doesn't have to suffer for very long. The meat's still fresh. It's just a good ethical kill. Well, unfortunately, I scared the crap out of this guy for a while, letting rounds bounce around his feet till I finally adjust correctly and get a good kill shot. But we get down there, we see it's not dead yet, unfortunately. So I get up close, put one across the back of its neck just to put him out of his misery fast. And then you'll all know this if you've hunted before. Now the real fun starts. You've actually been out hunting. You've got to go have all the fun experience, enjoy nature and all that. Well, now it's time to gut it. Now it's time to load it up on the machine. Now it's time to drag it off this ridiculously steep ridge that we had to drive up to get to in the first place.
Yep.
After getting all that said and done, we finally get it down to the actual road where we can, pull it at a better angle, but we end up having to hook up the antlers to the hitch of the side-by-side, and I pretty much sat in the back and rode the antlers the entire way down the hill so I could help hold it and orient it correctly so we could drag it down the hill appropriately. Ended up gutting it back at the house. My uncle took care of that for me, but all that to say, it was crazy that not only on the opening day of a 9-day hunt, when I'm getting ready to settle in for a long hunt here, all of a sudden on the opening day in the last hour, a perfect scenario comes walking out in front of me, and then out of nowhere, I'm trying to do my best to calm down long enough to get a good, clean shot on it. So wasn't the best shot in the world, but definitely ended up with a 6-point bull that was what we call a harem bull. So it pretty much just breeds and eats, and that's about in fights. It had a broken antler from it fighting and whatever, but it still scored out to a 307, which is pretty decent for a bull. I talked to my grandpa afterwards, and he was not only showing it, I could tell, but he finally told me that he was just absolutely green with envy because out of all the years we've hunted that particular area and that particular ridge, nobody's taken a bull out of there except for my grandpa, and it was a pretty medium-sized one, nothing too impressive by any means. And on the first day, opening day, last hour of the day, I nail a bull that is like the record for what my family has gotten off that ridge, and nobody since has seen anything that good, and it's just been a ridiculous story all the way around. So definitely a pretty unique experience, but
I just went to a wedding this weekend, and I was driving down a dirt road, and these two guys crossed the road, stopped 10 feet from the car and stared at me, and I stopped the car, and I took out the camera, and Connie's like, you're going to scare him off. I was like, I'm just going to take a picture.
Not usually with mule deer.
I turned and took a picture, and they just stared at me and posed for the picture.
Almost as if to ask you, hey, do I need to stand differently, get a better angle for you?
Dude, they're huge. I mean, the one on the left especially has, look at his rack.
Mm-hmm.
That's impressive.
Oh yeah. And they're both in velvet there too. You can tell.
Yep. But the one on the left especially, it looks like he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, maybe 7 points on one side, and the other side's like 6 points. Yeah. A 6x7. The other one's like a 3x3. He's small, but that's amazing. But anyway, I was like, I'm going to shoot you with my camera.
Yeah. Yeah, with animals like this, it's always nice to be able to get something big. You want a nice size antlers and all that. You want it to be able to be scoreable. That's a good trophy and everything. But the truth of the matter is, we're always out there for getting the meat. And the cool thing about this guy was, even though he was what we call a harem bull, even though he was headed for a really rough winter, because by the time we got done gutting and cleaning him and everything, we realized there was not 1 ounce of fat on this guy. He was super lean. So we knew what he spent his time doing. Pretty much just the two F's, fighting and the other one. So it was definitely interesting to see that he ended up being about 800 pounds field dressed. And by the time we got done cleaning him, it was 189 pounds of meat, which is just crazy because, I mean, there's a lot of weight to an animal. By the time you get done gutting it, the skeleton, the antlers, the hide, all that. But to have that much meat left over, that stayed in my freezer for about 3 full years before me and my family could finally go through it all. Dang. And that's after giving out some to my friends and my uncle and my grandpa for helping out with the hunt and all that. So really cool experience. But I guess the moral of that story, since we always try to kind of bring it around a little bit, is not only patience and perseverance pay off, but it always goes to show you that you can be as well planned out as you think you can. You think you got the whole thing mapped out and ready to go, and your plans can change in an instant. So it's all a matter of kind of adapting the situation and being able to work with it. So
also humility, right? Because sometimes you can be the greatest shooter in the world, be a super awesome shot, and 6 shots later you barely get a injury to an animal.
Stationary on a shooting table at a target, punching holes in paper. Yeah, I'm a pretty darn good shot. But when it comes to the adrenaline rush of seeing an animal in front of your crosshairs, all bets are off.
Well, that comes to the conclusion of our live stream. If you guys want to see more of this particular game from time to time, want to see more videos or whatever, or just have it occasionally as a backdrop to our live streams, feel free to jump on the chat after it goes live on the channel and let me know, or hit me up on Discord or hit me up on Twitter and let me know what your thoughts on the game were. Remember, you got to check your brain at the door. It's not perfect. It's like any other game, but I'll tell you one thing: the developers listen to the people who play. They are very generous with their crystals. And it's a really fun game, I will say. I do enjoy my time. So thank you all for being here. I appreciate SureShot for being on. And as always
glad to be here.
If you have missed some of the live stream, you can always go back and watch it. It'll be on YouTube forever. Make sure you guys keep your gaming on. Warrior and SureShot out.